Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony will begin momentarily. Today's ceremony is considered an outdoor ceremony, and all headgear is to be worn by all military personnel. We also ask that you please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices at this time. Thank you. Good afternoon, and welcome to historic Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall. Originally established as Fort Whipple in 1863 and changed to Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall in 2009. Its main purpose was fortification in the defense of Washington. Since its inception, Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall has been the home of horse cavalry, artillery, and infantry. Today, it is home to the Old Guard, the United States Army Band, and the United States Army Garrison. Before today's review begins, the United States Army Band, Pershing's own, presents a pre-ceremonial concert featuring the following musical selections: Blackjack and Washington Post. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Band. Once again, good afternoon and welcome. Today, the United States Army Military District of Washington, represented by the soldiers of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own, pay a special tribute to several soldiers who are retiring after many years of distinguished service to the United States Army and our nation. Participating in today's review, from left to right, is the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own. Formed in 1922 by then Army Chief of Staff, General John J. Pershing, the United States Army Band is the premier band of our senior service. Pershing's Own provides musical support for ceremonies and special events in our nation's capital and throughout the United States. The United States Army Band is under the direction of Major Aaron Morris and led by Drum Major Adrian Doctor. Elements of the Old Guard include Honor Guard Company, commanded by Captain Ted Rohr and led by Sergeant First Class Timothy Logan. Next on line is Delta Company, commanded by Captain Sean McAvoy and led by Sergeant First Class Seth Kirsten. Next on line is Bravo Company, commanded by First Lieutenant Gerald Brown and led by Staff Sergeant Benjamin Negley. Following is the Commander-in-Chief's Guard, patterned after the unit created by General George Washington in 1776 to be his personal guard. The Commander-in-Chief's Guard is commanded by First Lieutenant Matthew Waugh and led by Staff Sergeant Derek Cunningham. The last element on line, dressed in the Continental Musician's uniform, is the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. During the American Revolution, musicians wore the reverse colors of their parent infantry unit. The men and women of the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps maintained this tradition by wearing red coats instead of the infantry blue. The Corps is led today by Drum Major Aaron Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, moving into position is the commander of troops for today's ceremony, Lieutenant Colonel Maxwell Pappas, Commander, 1st Battalion, 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard. Since the days of the American Revolution, the colors have been one of the most important elements of a military unit. Therefore, taking the center of our formation in just a moment, and bearing the national color, is the nation's foremost color team, the 3rd Infantry's Continental Color Guard, led by Sergeant Baylor Rowlett. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors.
Advance the colors!
Colors, forward, march!
Please be seated.
Colors, ready, cut. Colors, dress center, dress.
Officers, dress center, dress.
Colors, ready, front.
Officers, ready, front.
The history of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment reflects the growth and development of our nation. 55 well-earned battle streamers, 2 Valorous Unit Awards, 3 Meritorious Unit Commendations, and 5 Superior Unit Awards attest to the Old Guard's record of bravery in action and achievements during peacetime. In 1922, the War Department granted permission for the Old Guard to pass in review with bayonets fixed. The Old Guard will now fix bayonets to the traditional beat of the drum.
Sound, fix, bayonets.
Colors, right shoulder, arms. Colors, ready, cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking the reviewing stand are the reviewing officials for today's ceremony. Colonel Christopher D. Washington, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Shannon L. Garrett, Sergeant Major Stuart T. Coop, accompanied by the hosts, Major General Trevor J. Bradenkamp, Commanding General, Joint Task Force, National Capital Region, United States Army Military District of Washington, and Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, Command Sergeant Major, Joint Task Force, National Capital Region, United States Army Military District of Washington.
Order! Order!
cut, order, on. Cut, ready, cut.
Puff, raise, obey, rest, and one, and up. Sound off. Staff, obey, rest. Hold guard! Attention!
Coat, right shoulder up. Cut, ready, cut.
Sir, your cards are there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors and remain standing for the United States National Anthem.
Color. Forward. March. So the persons to be honored and colors are present.
Present the command.
Shoulder, far left, and 1, and 2, and 3. Present! Or! And 1, 2, and 5, and 3. Detachment. Present. All. Detachment. Order. All.
Please be seated.
Order. 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 Far left, and 1, and 2, and 3. Ceremonial. At ease. And 1, 2, and 2. Staff. Ceremony at ease.
Major General Bradenkamp and Command Sergeant Major Daly are now moving into position to honor the retirees. Please, feel free to applaud your soldier as they are called. Headquarters, Departments of the Army Special Orders. By order of the Secretary of the Army, the following soldiers of the Department of the Army are retired. Colonel Christopher D. Washington, Military Intelligence. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Shannon L. Garrett, Signal Corps. Sergeant Major Stuart T. Coop, Adjutant General. Colonel Thomas Burney, Military Intelligence. Colonel Timothy M. Gibbons, Military Intelligence. Colonel Adricia McKinney, Public Affairs. Colonel David Pasquale, Field Artillery. Lieutenant Colonel Brian Dopp, Armor. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Leach, Veterinary Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Robinson, Logistic Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Christian Rottweiler, Military Intelligence. Lieutenant Colonel Lincoln Williams, Signal Corps. Major Zelalem Desta, Army Nurse Corps. Major Jima Parker, Army Nurse Corps. Major Philip Richardson, Adjutant General. Major Kareem Terrell, Military Intelligence. Major Gerald Wynn, Infantry, Foreign Area Officer. Captain Samuel Sands, Cyber. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Amanda Smith, Military Intelligence. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Joshua Adams, Medical Service. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Michael Custer, Military Intelligence. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Jonathan Mock, Quartermaster. First Sergeant Lawrence Damas, Armor. First Sergeant Solomon Christian, Transportation. Master Sergeant Priscilla Johnson, Quartermaster. Master Sergeant Jason Lewis, Signal Corps. Master Sergeant Leander Outlaw, Chaplain Corps. Sergeant First Class Thomas Coburn, Military Intelligence. Sergeant First Class Gerardo Moreno Montalvo, Corps of Engineers. Sergeant First Class Juan Ospina, Infantry. We are proud to recognize these soldiers' devotion to our country, and we wish them happiness and prosperity in their well-earned retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of the colors.
Post the colors. Staff, right, face.
Please be seated.
Comes, ready, cut.
Ceremonial. At ease.
Comes, stand at ease.
Staff, ceremony at ease.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Bradenkamp.
Distinguished guests, senior leaders, command sergeants, majors, friends and family, and above all, soldiers and families to be honored here today, thank you for making the time to attend this retirement ceremony, and welcome to historic Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall and Conmy Hall. On behalf of Secretary of the Army, the Honorable Dan Driscoll, Chief of Staff of the Army, General Randy George, and Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael R. Weimer, welcome. It's another beautiful day here in the nation's capital and a great day to be a soldier. Before I address our distinguished retirees and families, I would like to take a moment to thank those who worked to make today's ceremony so special. On the floor in front of you are the soldiers of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, the Army's oldest active duty infantry regiment. You look tremendous, and your professionalism and precision honors those retiring here today. Thank you for your hard work and dedication, and thanks for serving in our Army. I would also like to thank the members of the U.S. Army Band Pershing Zone. As always, you look and sound amazing and make these ceremonies all the more special. So the soldiers retiring here today joined the Army to be all they could be. Some joined the Army following Desert Shield and Desert Storm, others after America was attacked on 9/11. All have stood ready to meet the challenges and uncertainties of the global war on terror that brought almost 2 decades of continuous combat operations. They stand here today representing the best of America. Today we honor 30 soldiers and their families for their faithful and dedicated service to our nation and for being all they could be. Collectively, these soldiers represent over 750 years of military service. 750 years. With service around the globe and in a variety of combat arms, combat support, and combat service support specialties, these soldiers, leaders, and their families answered our nation's call and have not only served during a period of persistent conflict, but also led and trained our young men and women to deploy into harm's way and do our nation's bidding. Our Army and our nation owes you a debt of gratitude for your service and sacrifice that can never be fully repaid. The medal and U.S. flag are but a small token of appreciation for your service. I would like to take just a moment to talk about our flag, Old Glory. That you receive a flag on the occasion of your retirement is significant in that it is the symbol of our nation and recognized around the world. We have fought to protect the freedoms in our way of life, and we wear the stars and stripes proudly on our uniform both home and while deployed. The red color in the flag symbolizes hardiness and valor, which each of you has personified as a soldier and leader in our Army. Operating in austere conditions with limited resources to accomplish the most difficult missions. The white color refers to purity and innocence, which you have sought to protect both here at home and abroad. And the blue color represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice, which each of you has demonstrated in the conduct of your duties as officers and non-commissioned officers. I am sure the flag holds special meaning for each one of you, as it should, given your service to our nation. As you walk out of Conmy Hall today, take solace knowing that you leave behind an enduring legacy that lives on in the countless soldiers you have trained, mentored, and inspired. The Army is better because of your service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these 30 great soldiers. We would be remiss today, however, if we did not take some time to thank the family members of each of these retiring soldiers. Your sacrifice and support over the past 20-plus years of service has been foundational to the success of each of these retirees, allowing them to accomplish their assigned missions and serve in the Army that they love. You have remained steadfast in your support during a time of war that necessitated family separations, and for that, you will never be adequately compensated. Please accept our eternal thanks on behalf of a grateful nation for all that you have done and all you have endured as military families. We could not fulfill our obligations to our soldiers, the Army, and the nation without the love and support of our families. So please join me in a round of applause for all of our military families. So to our retiring soldiers, thank you for your service. You are warriors and soldiers for life, so I humbly ask that you take on one last task. Tell the Army story and help to maintain our all-volunteer Army by sharing your experiences with America's sons and daughters so that they might be inspired to follow in your footsteps, to volunteer to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We continue to serve as a shining example around the world because men and women like you have volunteered to serve. So again, on behalf of Secretary Driscoll, General George, Sergeant Major of the Army Weimer, the Joint Task Force National Capital Region, Military District of Washington, the United States Army, and a proud and grateful nation, thank you, good luck, and Godspeed. This will defend and be all you can be.
Comes, ready, cut.
Pass and review.
Old guard, pass in review. Right,
Backwards.
face. Right shoulder.
Right wheel.
Arm. And then fireworks. And 1 and 2 and 3. Front rank close to the rear. 4 steps apart.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army Song. The United States Army is honored to have presented today's special ceremony. Thank you for attending, and enjoy the rest of your day.